Back in the 1990s, DC was going bankrupt and they had to sell their properties. They wanted to sell their brand, but no one wanted to buy their brand. But Sony wanted to buy Superman off them. DC tried to sell the whole brand to them, but they were like, no one gives a shit about the other DC characters. Fox also bought Batman and the Teen Titans franchise, trying to make superhero movies great again. Fox decided to make a Bat Family movie instead of a Batman movie, since they wanted to make a team-up movie that would have a bunch of superheroes, since they didn't want to focus on one character. They had the best casting in the world with Hugh Jackman as Batman. He was the best Bruce Wayne and Batman, but there was one problem. They were scared to use comic accurate costumes since they didn't think it would turn good with the audiences, since back then no one liked superhero movies. They were boring as fuck. Meanwhile, with Sony wanted to do the more comic accurate route, with Superman having a comic accurate costume, starring Brandon Routh as Superman, which was such a good casting. We also had William Dafoe as Lex Luthor. Now, this performance was fucking Oscar worthy. Like, I don't know how he didn't get a fucking Oscar for this shit, but bro, he did this character justice. But this is the worst casting I've ever seen. Like, she was such a shit Lois Lane. Like, what the fuck? Like, fucking. But hey, it's directed by Sam Raimi, so it was gonna be good anyways. Like, this Superman movie I loved so much. So Fox saw the movie and was so surprised how Sony went the comic accurate route. They decided to announce 2 films to be comic accurate, unlike the Bat Family movie, but were not as critically acclaimed like the Bat Family movie. So Fox decided to do the Question movie, starring Ben Affleck as the Question and Jennifer Lawrence as Huntress. Now, this movie, I don't know what the fuck to say. It's good on the director's cut, but in the theater was so, I don't fucking know. It was just a bunch of death metal in that shit, but like, fuck. I don't know what to say. And also we have the Teen Titans movie with Chris Evans as Beast Boy, Jessica Alba as Raven, and yeah, it's I wouldn't say it's the best, but it's very entertaining. Since DC saw Fox and Sony doing good with their projects, DC wanted to do their project of Lobo, an R-rated masterpiece. Like, seeing the world of Lobo was just too good. The only problem is that they didn't want to show the DC logo. Like, come on, man. But it was pretty good. Wesley Snipes as Lobo. Like, Oscar. Now we head to 2007. And people are starting to get hope for superhero movies until Sony releases Superman 3 starring Topher Grace as Bizarro. The worst cast. It also had too many villains in it. Like, this is what happens when studio interference happens. The Bat Family 3 also came with bad reviews. And it is becoming a trend for bad reviews to happen. Like, look at Lobo 3. Like, look what happened. It's like movies don't want to achieve at number 3. Like, fuck, come on. We also got like leaked pictures of Chris Evans as The Flash for the 2008 The Flash, which looks fake as shit, and also it won't work, cause who the fuck is The Flash? Until we found out that it's real and DC is bankrupt again. But they have nothing to sell. Since they already sold Superman, Batman, and all the famous characters, no one wanted to buy their other characters like The Flash, Aquaman, Green Lantern, Wonder Woman, because they wouldn't be as good box hitters like Superman or Batman. So they decided to make a movie by themselves with Paramount. So they released The Flash, and apparently this is supposed to start some DC cinematic universe, which would not fucking work. Like, cinematic universes are just stupid. So Chris Evans, that was starred as Beast Boy, decided to return as The Flash. Now, in my opinion, he fits The Flash perfect. Like, look at this. This is masterpiece. We also got Jeffrey Morgan as Reverse Flash, and these go at each other. Also, I really like this scene in the movie where it's like a tease of Kid Flash. We see like Wally West saying "next time, baby." Like, come on, Terrence Howard as Kid Flash is just gold. So they told us to like stay back after the movie, so that's what I did. And the cleaner told me to get out because he was gonna kick me out. I literally fought him just to stay, and I proved him wrong. It was Barry Allen meeting Martian Manhunter, Samuel L. Jackson as Martian Manhunter, saying about the Justice League Initiative, and I told him what it was, and I am fucking excited. We also got the Evan Norton Green Lantern movie. Now, I found this movie pretty good. The only problem is that this motherfucker wanted freaking Hal Jordan to commit suicide at the end. Like what the fuck? So they were not gonna continue with Evan Norton. Then we get the Flash 2 with apparently they got Don Cheadle as Wally West since Terrence Howard wanted like a big paycheck, so they were like, fuck it, we'll recast with Don Cheadle. Zoom is also the villain of the movie, and it's played by Mickey Rourke, which is an interesting casting, but hey, it works. We also got Scarlett Johansson as Black Canary. Now, she did pretty sexy in this movie. I mean, pretty good. But yeah, she was very good with her powers. And I don't know, but yeah, she was very good. Now, we see Samuel L. Jackson teasing the Justice League at the end, which is just symbols. He doesn't really teases it. You can see it on the Easter eggs, if you know what I mean. Like Aquaman and stuff, but yeah. Speaking of Aquaman, we're getting Chris Hemsworth as Aquaman. Now, they're releasing this movie. It's about Aquaman getting his trident, going against his brother. But you know what's crazy? We also get to see Green Arrow, Robert Downey Jr. as Green Arrow. Now, this is pretty good, because they can't use Batman, so they have to use Green Arrow, because Green Arrow is literally another Batman with an arrow. Then we get the Wonder Woman movie starring Kobe Smulders as Wonder Woman. Now, in this movie, it's set back in World War II. She meets Steve Trevor of interest and best friend. He dies from falling off a train. And at the end of the movie, she gets frozen in ice, and guess who finds her? Martian Manhunter. But in the post-credit scene, we see Green Arrow, played by Robert Downey Jr. We see Aquaman, played by Chris Hemsworth. And we see The Flash, played by Chris Evans. And I was just like, what the fuck? But then we get Mark Ruffalo, played by Green Lantern. This was expected since they were not gonna bring his fucking ass back. And also we get to see Scarlett Johansson as Black Canary. So basically, we saw all of these characters all together with Wonder Woman. And I was like, shit, I am ready for this fucking movie. Now we are in 2012, where they released the anticipated Justice League movie. Now, what do I have to say? It's fucking awesome, bro. It made $1.5 billion, critically good, and it just got noticed by Disney. So Disney might end up buying them for $2 billion fucking dollars. But what the movie is about is the Justice League going against Ocean Master, and at the final battle, it is the best shit I've ever seen in my life. But then also, if we look at the post-credits scene, we see Darkseid at the end. So they're basically setting up Darkseid. Bro, they keep setting up stuff to the point I'm just like, fuck. Not even freaking Warner Brothers that has Marvel can do this shit. Fuck Marvel. So after this, Disney's decided to buy DC for officially. And they also had to buy the Flash, the Aquaman rights, and the Wonder Woman rights back for the solo movies, to make solo movies, basically. But they couldn't get the Green Lantern rights because Universal's a fucking bitch. So, yeah, but at least we're getting freaking the superhero movies back, eh? Sony is thinking of rebooting the universe, and 20th Century Fox is going to continue with their Batman universe, but also the Christian movie rights is now expired and could go to Disney, but Disney wanted the Teen Titans rights, so they were going to trade it, but 20th Century Fox always said fuck no, and I'll be explaining more in part 2, which will be the final part.